Gamers all around the flat universe. There, I said it. Today, we are doing Malian Guide. Woo-hoo! Now listen, hold on, before you leave the stream or the YouTube video, let me say a couple of things. It might be the worst civ right now, the units might suck the most, but they are fun to play. Okay, they are fun to play. Just because they're the worst doesn't mean that you can't win with them. And they got the best music and some of the best unit sounds. So, with that being said, in all seriousness, today I'm going to be showing you one of the billion versions of Malian builds that I think is easy to follow, not that difficult to do, and it can provide you with some success. Usually I do build order from custom games, but I specifically queued up a game and played Malians in order to make a guide, because they're very unique and specific in their units and in their a lot of the things, right? And maybe in the future I'll do more guides like this, where I do the build against an opponent. The problem is those kinds of builds are usually not as clean, so I try to avoid them. But we'll see, depends how you guys like it. So, Newman is about rank 30, 32 on the in the world right now on the ladder, and the map is Dry Arabia, and the matchup is Malians versus Rus, as you can see. So I am the this yellow gamer, and he's the blue gamer, obviously. Before we get started, so I do want to say there's a lot of different styles with Malians, like I mentioned earlier. There's the Donzo Javelin Thrower style, there's the Sofa Archer style, there's the Donzo Sofa style. You can play Malians many different ways. I personally practiced it a lot for Wololo. Like, I've probably put in over 100 games, which I know you might not think is a lot, but for a civ that I played probably the least, that is a lot of games. And in my opinion, this is probably the best playstyle you can do. Except versus night civs, which we will be talking a little bit later about. There's also many different ways for you to open up. There's, you know, the gold pit opening. There's the one where you mine gold. There's the one where you make houses all around and then you age up. There's the one that I'll show you, which is to build 2 houses and age up. So that doesn't mean that this is the way to go and this is the only style that you can do. Like I said, there's many variations of Malians and how to play them, when to get TC, when to get cows, if you should get cows and so on, if you should even get TC. But the one that I'm teaching you today, like I said, is I feel like somewhat easy to follow. We will get second TC eventually, and we will also be going for cows and just kind of booming pretty hard while putting on aggression. So, with that being said, let's get started. So, this is the standard opening for everyone. Doesn't matter if you play Malians, you know, for the first time or second time. This is kind of universally the best opener. Mind you, I do have second scout because I'm playing against Rus, but if you played against any other civ except Rus, you would go just 1 scout. So, the only reason I'm going second scout is because I'm playing against Rus and I want to deny the deer and the animals and so on. So we're gonna start with one villager immediately to pit mine, and we're gonna build that straight away. And then you're going to put 5 villagers on the closest wood in order to get 100 wood total. Why 100? Well, you're gonna use the first 50 wood that you can see here that I got. How do I change the sides? I remember there was a hotkey for that. Someone in the chat knows for sure. You can change the overlay at the top. Control F. That's definitely not the one. Shift Alt F. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Now it's easier to look because I keep looking to the left. So the first 50 wood we'll be using for the 2 houses. This is going to allow us to not get supply block. And also this will allow us to have enough trickle gold income from gold pit or pit mine, whatever it's called, so that we wouldn't need to send workers to mine gold. And then the next 50 wood we will be using later on for a lumber counter. So, with that being said, here we go. Chop, chop, chop. And then we're going to basically rally all the villagers onto the sheep. And you want to go up to 10 villagers on sheep. Because with the gold trickle, you're gonna need 10 villagers, and also you chop wood, so your food is a little bit delayed. You're gonna have 10 villagers here, and then the rest you will be rallying onto the wood. I'm not gonna pay too much attention to the scouting. Like I said, I already have a video on the scouting, so if you're interested in that, you can check it out. We're gonna focus on the build and on the playstyle. So, as you can see, I'm getting about 40 gold a minute, and I'm gonna speed up here. I have 9 on food, I have 10 on food. One of my villagers is AFK because my sheep were late, but that's what happens when you play real games, not perfect builds. And then I'm rallying onto the wood, building the lumber camp, and from now on I'm going to be rallying onto the wood for quite a while. And the moment I have enough food plus gold, I will be aging up with... I don't know what's it called, with the landmark, the stone quarry, the quarry something, where you get either passive gold or passive stone. I know a lot of people are gonna ask, I mean, we memed about it earlier in the Twitch chat about Malian trade. Malian trade in 1-on-1 can maybe work on Altai, and that's about it. But if you're low league, anything can work. So if you're like gold or plat or silver and you want to go Malian trade on Dry Arabia, I mean, go for it. It's probably gonna work because... So, Mansa Quarry, I'm aging up with 4. And after I have 3-4 villagers on wood, what I'm going to do is the next one that comes out, I'm going to send it to start building houses. So, why do you do this? Well, the way that gold pit or pit mines work, the more houses or mining camps you have around it, the more gold income you get. By the way, I released a video recently, everything you need to know about Malians, where I explain every single mechanic and unit that they have and what they're good against. So if you ever want to watch that and you want to learn Malians, watch that first and then this one. So with 3-4 workers on wood, you'll slowly be able to just build houses around and kind of get your gold income of this pit mine to 90 gold per minute, which is the cap. After that, I'm still rallying onto the wood. So, Malians have the weakest unit in the game right now, which, by the way, I suspect they're going to get buffed eventually or soon, I don't know. But right now, their units are the weakest. So, one thing you can exploit is... use to your advantage, is that they can mass units compared to the other civs. Even though your units are worse, you can simply win by masses, and you have a lot of passive income with Massive Quarry and with gold mines and with cows. So what that means is while your opponent is gathering stone, I will be gathering with villagers. I will be gathering my stone with the Mansa Quarry landmark while putting on the pressure. So that's like the one advantage that Malians have, and you should probably use it to your advantage. So what I mean by that... Oh yeah, here you go. Thank you. That's a good point. What I mean by that is if I went right now and got wood and stone, and I went second TC and he goes second TC, it's better for him. Because we are playing very different civs, and his units are stronger. So you don't want to put yourself in a position where you're equal with your opponent, right? What I would rather do is open aggressively with like stables or barracks, put pressure so that he needs to make barracks or archer range or whatever, but I'm still getting my stone already going and I'm still getting gold. So technically Malians right now, the villager count is 17 to 17, but not really, because right now I have 62 gold per minute, and this is going to go to 90 gold per minute, which is equal to like 2.2 villagers worth of income. So technically, in a second, I will be having like 19 villagers versus 17. So if I go to mine stone and wood, then I'm kind of like ruining, in a way, that advantage that I have. And instead, I could let Mansa Quarry just slowly trickle in stone while I put the pressure and kind of force the opponent to fight. Or even if they get enough stone, they cannot go out on the map to make a TC, which you will see in a second. Why not? Because you'll have units before them. So, he has hunting cabin. Yeah, it's 22 gold per minute, so not quite the same compared to 90 gold. But obviously, every civ has their own advantage. And like I said, this is what Malians have, and this is how you should use it. So, I'm gonna age up in a second, and you'll notice that right now I have 4 on food. I had 6, and then I moved them away. And the reason for that is, especially against Rus will always do this where they harass your houses. So what I like to do with Malians is the moment I hit feudal, I like to build stable, and instantly, if I have an eye on their scout, upgrade the scouts to warrior scouts, because then your scouts can chase down their scouts and kill them. And then you reduce the vision from the opponent completely. Like, when you play Malians, the opponent should not have active scouts on the map, because your scouts can always kill them, because they're faster once they're upgraded, and they do more damage. So I like to make a scout or 2 and upgrade them, or upgrade them first and then get a scout or 2 extra, just to get vision. And Malian scouts actually go up to, I think, 7 damage, so you can actually kill villagers if they are like on gold mines or whatever else. So you can use them as a very, very, very early harassment. For example, if I was playing against Abasser right now, and he just aged up and he's on stone, I can technically put this scout right here on stone, and the moment the upgrade finishes, you can start harassing their stone villagers. So again, that's the benefit of Malians, right? So I changed this Manzik warrior to stone, and what I'm going to be doing, my general plan is, like I said earlier, I'm going to put on pressure with the units, and I'm slowly going to be gathering stone over time, and eventually, when I have enough stone, I will pop down the second TC. By then, my gold pits or pit mines will be in action. I'm gonna get a second one here as well, and then I can produce cows with the passive gold, right? And then again, get more passive food. You get the idea. So he starts to harass here. I return one of my scouts back, and the moment this thing finishes, I upgrade warrior scout immediately. It's super cheap, by the way. It's super cheap, and you'll see what happens in a second. So initially, I take a bit of damage on one of the scouts, but the problem is now he can't outrun you because I have 188 speed and he has 162. So he just starts losing scouts one after another. And already this puts you in an interesting position where right now he does not have any scouting. He doesn't know that I'm making this. He doesn't know if I'm gathering stone. He doesn't know what units I'm going for. And it immediately puts you into more aggressive position. Because I'm playing against Rus, I saw that his boar is over here, so I sent the low HP scout to scout this side and make sure I see if he's mining stone or not. And I see a little reward for that scouting. I see villagers moving, so obviously I know he's gonna go for the stone. And this is what I mean with, even though he can technically get faster TC, because I'm more I'm active with the scouts, and because I open with units first instead of economy first, I'll be able to pressure these villagers and potentially get a couple of kills. So you'll see how much these scouts do damage to villagers, by the way. Like, these are not normal scouts that hit for 1, right? You can see how much damage they're doing. Like, they're doing as much damage as the horsemen, I think, or maybe a bit less. So now this is pretty annoying for him. And I always said, whenever you play against Knight Civs, you open Spearmen, right? No matter what Civ you play, if you play against a Knight Civ, unless you're a Knight Civ yourself, you open with a Spearman. This game, I was scouting, and I saw that he had no stables, and I even saw, with the scout here, that he went for barracks. So I don't need to go Donzos, because he has Spearmen. So what I decided to do is continue to put pressure. I made a couple of sofas now. There's already one online. And I'm making an archer range to counter his Spearmen. So you'll see the moment he pulls the boar, I just commit with the scouts. These scouts are 90 food only, by the way. So even if I lose a scout and get a villager, that is sick value for me. So I try to pull the boar, delay it a little bit, make it annoying for him. And loses 1 vill, loses 2 villagers, 3 villagers, and even if I lost all these scouts for 3 villagers, that is a really good trade, because if you look at the worker count, I'm 5 villagers ahead already. And it's all thanks to the warrior scouts, right? So right now he has 5 villagers, which is kind of... This DC is delayed, so his extra villagers will be delayed. So not a great opener for him. I have archers coming. I think I ended up killing another 2 villagers here. So I didn't manage to deny TC. But like I said, you get the idea of opening with Malians and why you open like that. Now, if I played the same matchup and he opened with Knights, I would probably open with Donzos into Stables. And I would still get Warrior Scouts and try to hunt down his Warrior Scouts and so on and so forth. Depending how many like Knights you go for, that's how many Donzos I would make, right? So if he's going Mass Knight, I go Mass Donzos. If he only makes 2 Knights, then I would probably transition into Sofas plus Archers or something like that. Because I do think that the best way to play Malians is probably Sofa slash Scouts. Just to absorb some damage and do some damage for just cheap food. And Archers and eventually getting Poison Arrow. Now I do want to say, I don't know when exactly you'll be watching this guide on YouTube. You might watch it 2 weeks from now or 3 weeks from now. Today is November 8th. And as of right now, the Poison Arrow only stacks up to 8 on units, which should be stacking infinitely. And I've asked devs this already. So right now, the Archers from Malians are not at their full potential that they should be. But I do think that Sofa plus Archers with Poison Arrow are probably the best unit comp you can go for in general, because in Feudal or Castle it allows you to harass, it gives you mobility, and it solves the problem that Malians have probably the most, which is the armored units in Men-at-Arms and Knights, because Malians don't have any direct counter to those units. So having Sofas that do pretty okay against Men-at-Arms, and they do, you know, not great, but okay against Knights. And Archers that have Poison Arrows is one way to deal with them. Now, you can go Musafati Warriors. Musafati Warriors actually do really well against Knights and Men-at-Arms in equal costs. The problem with them is they have no armor, no ranged armor, very low HP, so they actually get completely owned by the Archers. Which is why I probably would not recommend going for them unless opponent has no Archers at all. So, behind this, what I'm doing is I'm getting the second pit mine with all the wood. I have 15 on wood right now. And what I'm doing with that wood is I'm producing Archers. I'm getting Wheelbarrow. I already got double Broadaxe pretty much the moment I aged up. I got some villagers on gold as well, because I'm going to be producing cows soon. So I have about 5 villagers, which is a good amount for you to produce cows. And my goal now is to establish this like second pit mine, like I said, and to get a second TC. This is just from Manza Quarry. I'm at 206 stone, so in about 2 minutes, I will have enough stone for a second TC, and then I'm going to start the cow production as well. So here I'm trying to put some pressure to pick off any villagers. He's microing the spearman. I got the archer here, so I just decided to go for engage, because like I said, even if I lose these units, my units are not that expensive. So I just try to pick off the villagers. I get 1, and I think I get another one here. Cool. So 2 more villas, and if you look now, the villager count is pretty bad for him. You can say that, you know, he has 2 TC now and he'll be able to recover, but considering I'm still producing units and he's not, he doesn't have food to produce units and villagers right now, and you can see his production is idle right now, because with 12 villagers on food you cannot sustain this. And if you look at the income, I got more stone per minute. I got 400 gold versus 109. I got 500 wood per minute, and I got slightly less food per minute. So pretty good incomes for me, and obviously that comes from the passive income and the extra bills. So I have a lot of wood. So this is the thing about Malians. It's very hard to get a direct build order where everything is pitch perfect. But right now, I'm about to have enough for TC. I had like 500 wood. So what I decided to do is not just wait. I just threw down 2 cattle ranches. I threw down another mill. And I'm going to start producing cattle to get... It's kind of like you're booming with second TC and the pit veins or pit mines. And you're also going for the cows. So you're just kind of pushing your economy as much as possible. If this was a more aggressive game, maybe I would be a little bit careful adding too many of these, and I would like start adding more production and more units. But because I felt pretty good in this game, because I killed a lot of villagers and I kind of see what his army consists of, I just decided to, you know, push the economy to the limit basically. I'm gathering my units on this side. I go for his gold, and again, just doing harassment, just denying as much as I can. Yeah, he wanted to go for another TC there. I didn't even see that. He wanted to go for another TC, I assume here, because he has enough resources, but when he saw my army, he decided to go back. Which is funny, because after this poke, I go around. So I guess if he did go for TC there, that would have been denied, and he would be in a pretty bad spot. But you can see his economy is in shambles right now. I'm assuming he wants to make a TC, preferably here. But he can't, so he's just trying to get some knights out to harass. So you can see I'm getting my cattle, producing it right there. And you can see that I'm actually adding a TC in maybe like a weird spot. And this is something that I only do with Malians, or if you're rushing castle with some civ or something like that. Because this is a lot of houses and 2 pit mines. So the reason why I like to build the TC here is if my gold ever gets harassed, I can quickly jump in. And you're not as dependent for food as Malians because of the cattle. So I don't need to build a TC here next to the deer. You're probably not going to need all the food on your side of the map as Malians because of all the passive income that you'll be getting. So yeah, I'm just harassing here, I'm just scouting, and like I said, if I scouted overwhelming amount of knights, I would probably go Donzos, but his eco was pretty bad, and I could just match his knights with basically my sofas, which are weaker, and archers. And here I see like, okay, let's make it some knights, so I just decide to go back and kind of play it a little bit more passive and not overextend. I got my cattle, and this is crazy gold food income, by the way. If you get 20 cattle, you get 560 food per minute forever from that point on. So you don't gotta do anything, you don't gotta micro them, you just get passive income. And if you get the landmark as well, which increases I think 20 food per cattle, you go up to 960 food per minute. Just from this cattle right here, and it doesn't cost any supply. Obviously it costs 2,000 gold total to make and 700 wood, but I would say that's a pretty good deal, especially from all the gold that you have as Malians. So right now I'm just trying to harass with these units anywhere I can. Again, he does not have scouts because I killed them all. So if we look at from his point of view, which I don't know how to do, how the hell do I switch sides? Fuck, there was a way. What is it? Oh, here we go. So if you look at his point of view, right? Like, this is not a good point of view to have. Like, you don't see anything on the map. Like, he doesn't know if there's sofas there. He doesn't know if there's sofas, like, about to enter here. And if you look at my point of view, okay, I'm gonna split the scouts in a second. I think I make more scouts soon. But I have this roaming army. I have a scout here trying to see what's going on that side. And he can't really raid anywhere, right? My rally point is here. So if knights come here, I can defend pretty easily. I have a TC for these villagers. This is walled off, so I'm feeling pretty good. And meanwhile, you can see like he has to wall off this, which is kind of unfortunate because now he needs to make these massive walls to defend what's pretty much no resources. Like there's one berry patch here and that's it. So I aged up first. I went from the landmark to boost my cattle income, and now my income on food, even though I have 13 villagers, it's about to spike quite a lot higher because of that landmark. And from here on out, my plan is to continue making sofas, get some warrior scouts. Like whenever you have extra food with Malians, just make warrior scouts. They will tank damage and you can also raid with them. They're very expendable, especially with all the passive food you're getting. And my goal is also to get more archer ranges and get poison arrows as fast as possible, although it is quite an expensive upgrade. Your third pit mine, you would preferably want to have it on the big gold vein, if possible. Obviously, if it's too exposed, don't do it. Like, don't lose villagers for no reason. In this map, I could just wall this off and get this one, because you get up to 120 gold per minute from them compared to 90 gold from the smaller ones. Meanwhile, I'm still doing the raiding, you know, while I'm booming pretty hard. If you look at income, by the way, so he has 71 workers compared to 58 of mine, 59. But if you look at incomes, it's completely crazy, right? It's not even comparable. Now, one thing I want to say, you can put Manza Quarry back on gold when you make your first TC. I like to go for another TC at a point, so I just left it on stone because I feel like I don't need that much gold with Malians. So I would rather have it on stone and be able to build keeps or extra TCs if I need in the long run, or even stone walls. And in a second, I'm just gonna add another TC here, just to kind of secure the win, because I already had a pretty big lead. And you can see that at this point, he just aged up. My economy is pretty secured. Like, I don't really need farms right now. Like, I still have a bunch of food resources that I can get. Like, I've only taken sheep and berries and half a deer pack here. That's it. Meanwhile, on his side, he's about to vacuum these 2 packs of deers with 34 villagers, and then he needs to go farms. But my farms are already done with the cattle. That's how far ahead I was, right? So from here on out, I'm just gonna mass units with all the lead that I have. And I'm just gonna push and try to end the game. I'm collecting the relics as well. And here we go. But if you look at the armies right now, it might look somewhat close, but it's not really close because these are basically knights. These sofas got 5 armor right now, which is pretty crazy. 5 melee or 5 ranged armor. He just aged up to age 3. His knights have 4 armor. I got poison arrows as well, and I'll be able to simply win with an overwhelming amount of units. I think in a moment I add like more production, and I just kind of go for it. Yeah, here we go. And from here on out, you know, you can go for sacred side win. You can put forward keep like here. By the way, he fucked up. He put his high trade house next to his hunting cabin, so his high trade house is not getting the maximum amount of gold, I think. And also that high trade house is not getting too much income. So if you look at his army, it's not great, right? He has men-at-arms, but this is what I mean. If I went Donzo javelin throwers, these men-at-arms would be quite tanky. But you'll see with sofas and poison arrows how fast they die. I get a keep here, and I just go for the fight. He gets a mangonel here. I do a little pre-split. Pop the mango. And like I said, men-at-arms can't really tank against sofas and poison archers. Because they both kind of do pretty well against them, so men-at-arms become obsolete. And one thing that you will notice, if you play Malians, one thing you will notice is a lot of people will be going men-at-arms against you. But if you look, now when I shoot here, with the poison arrow, you can also kite men-at-arms, so you can do pretty well. He gets a mango here. I pop that dish real quick. And that is pretty much it. So, now, there's another way to play Malians. You can also go for feudal all-in or feudal pressure, where you go like Donzo plus javelin throwers. That playstyle requires a lot of micro. like a lot of micro, because you need to constantly target javelin throwers onto the archers. And while javelin throwers are really good, the problem with javelin throwers is once you reach big numbers, like I'm talking 20, 30, 40 javelin throwers, if you target fire the archers, you're overkilling by absurd amounts. So what you actually need to do is take like 10, 10, 10, 10 javelin throwers and target fire them at different archers, which at that point becomes very difficult and complicated to micro. So they overkill quite a lot. And at that point, it's better to have javelin throwers just auto attack into spearmen or knights. But then the archers kill your donzos, because even though the enemy will also just auto attack, their archers are killing your donzos, which is what they should be killing, right? But then your javelin throwers are attacking the stuff they should not be attacking. So javelin throwers are a good unit, but they are, I think, hard to use and hard to use efficiently. But you can go for, like I said, the Malian all-in and feudal. There's plenty of different ways. So remember, you can go Donzo Sofas as a style. You can go Donzo javelin throwers. You can go Sofa and archers. You can go mix of all three, all four. It's completely up to you. But I hope I gave you guys a little bit of insight in how to play Malians, how to think about Malians, and I hope this build gives you some wins and helps you out a little bit on the ladder. Let's get those Malian win rates up. Let's get them up. Shoot them up straight away. And remember, if you're playing against Knight Civs, you're gonna need Spearmen or you're gonna be in a lot of trouble. So that is gonna be it for this video. If you're watching on YouTube, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I will be doing the rest of the guides as well for the other civs. If you're watching on Twitch, it's ladder time. Let's keep going.